I think we're going to have the rules still apply. You know.
Okay. I mean, can we use them? So you're saying if I clone somebody, you can't use them for slave labor?
No.
Really?
If you're going to recreate, quote unquote, a human being, it should have the same rights and everything as the original. They're probably not going to turn out like the original because you're going to have a clone person with, who has the same stuff but makes different decisions. But I think they should be given the same opportunity.
So you think they'll have a soul?
Yeah.
So you think a human being can create something that would give them a soul versus God?
I think if we're going to bring it to that point, yes.
Hey, that's a good call. All right.
But I also wanted to bring up one thing.
Okay.
You guys were talking about the science fiction aspect.
Yeah, the Gattaca or multiplicity or Star Wars.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Star Trek The Next Generation?
Hey, they were just talking about that at break. Go ahead, Dan.
Nemesis.
They had the one episode where they had the colony that had almost cloned themselves out of existence, and then another colony on the same planet or a close-by planet that was proliferating, and they were from Ireland or England, and they were almost to the point of being backwoodsy.
like the royal family.
Exactly.
Like my family, royal family.
Combine the two to make everything work.
There you go. Great call.
So what if the clone is actually better? People like him better, like a Scott Light that came along.
That's a good question. I mean, this is such dangerous ground. And again, are we going into this ground with fear? Because is this the next step? And I don't believe in evolution, but I do believe in microevolution. So is this the next step in microevolution, or is this the next step in technology, techno revolution? Is it the next step? Let's go to Vicki. Hey, Vicki, you're on the Scott Connor Show.
Hi, Scott. Thanks for taking my call. My comment is I, as a Christian, do not believe that we should be cloning human beings. We can do stem cell research as long as we're not using an embryo, because what a lot of people are missing is an embryo is an egg and a sperm, and they've come together. It makes a human being.
But you have to use my research before the show, and again, I was here for several hours reading up on different views. You have to use an embryo.
Right. Then we don't need to clone. If we want to use, if we want to do stem cell research on umbilical cord blood and different things like that to see what it can do, fine. But when it comes to an embryo, you got to put a stop to it. So then we're playing God.
So do you think then? Not my question goes to you. Do you think a cloned person will have a soul or no soul?
No soul.
Because it's human made.
Created by God.
Okay. There you go. Good call. Great call. God, we got great callers today. Yep. Dan, you're awfully quiet.
No,
and I know you have opinions.
I'm contemplating.
Well, we only have like an hour and 45 minutes to keep going.
Well, all right.
Come on, kick it out there, Dan.
Okay, well, for that one, if you're cloning somebody and it's an exact replica, then, I personally am an atheist. I don't believe in God or soul or anything like that, but let's say for argument's sake there is. If it's an exact copy, wouldn't part of the soul get copied over also?
Good question.
And if God created the original embryo that they ended up making the clone from, then he should still have a soul if you believe.
Billy is awake today.
If you are persuaded. So
I brought him some sugar. All right, let's go to Craig. Craig, you're on the Scott Connor Show.
Hey, so here's the thing about the soul. So, I guess, according to you, according to religious people in general, God grants you your soul, yes?
That's what separates us from the animals, yes.
Okay, so you clone somebody.
Yeah.
And I would say, because humans created them, not God, you have to say that clone doesn't have a soul.
I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that. Now,
maybe people who are opposing cloning are afraid.
Yeah.
With one of these clones, well, it ends up exactly like anybody else. They breathe, walk, talk, think, believe things that everybody else believes, and that totally would undermine all religion, or at least the idea of the soul. It would completely undermine it.
Now, do you think now again, I said before, and this actually was a line from a different movie, that the answer to all life's questions are in the movies. But you do have a thing like Star Wars, where you start cloning an army, and then they're stronger.
And the scary thing is if the human race still likes to fight. So I mean, if other countries start doing it, and somebody else had brought this up already, what do we do?
Here's another movie. What was it? I love this movie. It's my favorite movie. Harrison Ford, Darahana.
What?
Come on! The guy was a why am I Blade Runner? Something.
Oh, Blade Runner.
Remember that? Great movie. Where these guys they clone people and they were workforce and they only had a life expectancy of 20 years or 10 years, and they lived, and then they have same rights, and then they were stronger. Is it scary to you, Craig?
Well, yeah, it kind of, you could kind of conceive of a time when, you have clones and they are your slaves, and there's kind of two classes of people, and,
And human beings are going to do this.
They want to take over someday.
Human beings will do this. I mean, we have a destructive nature, and we will, if we can rule over somebody, we will do it.
Oh yeah, that's been proved.
Especially white people. It's true. I mean, white people are the guys who enslave. We destroy everything. You got the Indians. They take care of the land. You got the blacks who are we captured them and threw them over here. We are the ones who enslave. We are the ones who tear down, rip apart. That's what we do. All right, Chris and Damon, you guys keep holding. We're gonna go to break, Larry. Don't wink at me. It freaks me out.
We are the world, Scott.
We are the world.
Oh, don't
all right.
Started.
All right. I'm sitting here with Larry, One-Liner High, Cheesecake Sarah, my good friend Dan, Billy. We're talking about cloning. Do you think clones have souls? Do you think that we could clone people and then rule over them? Should we clone to have extra organs? Is this morally, religiously correct to do this? Be right back.
This is the Scott Connor Show on New Mexico's leader, 770 KKOB.
No matter where you search.
If you've traveled some around the country, chances are you've heard a lot of talk about talk radio.
Insane idea that the government is better able to
But we
spend
thought
our money.
you might like to hear the sound of talk radio in other parts of the world. In Kigali, in Sarajevo, in Beijing. Fact is, the right to speak your mind, to agree or disagree with principalities and governments, is a unique American privilege. At 770 KKOB, we're proud to provide you a platform for that privilege every day of the week. So go ahead, step up to the telephone, and talk to the world.
Thanks for taking my call. I feel
770 KKOB, Albuquerque.
You're listening to the Scott Connor Show. Hear the music inspired by Shakespeare. It's coming to the Symphony Under the Stars Saturday at 8 at the Rio Grande Zoo. For ticket prices and more, just log on to 770kkob.com.
We're having more fun than contemplating a clone with no sphincter. I don't know what that means.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
Shh. Happens.
Oh, man. I don't know. Did you watch the TV show last night?
Yes, I did.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I recorded it.
Was it good?
Yeah.
It was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, but keep in mind, I'm also on Dayquil medicine, so everything's good right now. You wanted my honest opinion.
Okay.
But it was a good show.
Thank you. All right. Chris, you're on the Scott Connor Show. Do you think we should clone? Do you think that if we clone, we will have a super clone army that can turn on us someday? Do you think that embryos should be murdered, if you believe in that? Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Well, first off, on the cloning, I'd like to offer an opinion from another Christian.
Okay.
And I hope you can bear with me for a moment.
Okay.
I believe that humans, as they are now, are made in God's image.
I agree.